Mia Kang has been featured in tons of magazines, including Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
I mean, she's a model and virtually the best fighter ever. Why does nobody know who the hell she is?
But do you know what happens behind the scenes? What each of those models has to go through?
When you look at the super skinny photo of you, what do you think?
Why was she starving herself?
I grew up as the fat kid in class.
I was heavily bullied, teased, made fun of, name called, picked on, isolated.
I spent a lot of my youth hating myself.
I grew up in a house of addiction, narcotics, laxatives, diuretics. I never ate until I was 27 years old.
I got to the point where I was like, I would rather just kill myself.
How did you go from being a fat kid to becoming a skinny model?
They wanted me to look like I was 17 and I was 27 and my body was fighting it. Full body dysmorphia.
Anorexia, drug use, and bullying.
This is my whole world. Since I was 13.
A model who experienced the dark side of the industry firsthand.
It's a fight with yourself.
Wait a minute, how much weight did she gain?
Why is she throwing her modeling career away?
I grew up really overweight. I was heavily bullied, teased, made fun of, name called, picked on, isolated. What I did have though was a major obsession with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was my whole thing. I had the backpack and the t-shirt. I would like wake up early in the morning and before everyone else was awake and I would sneak in an episode so I wouldn't get told off. And I had 4 pet turtles. You can guess what their names were. I loved these guys. They were my everything. I used to run home from school every day, and I was overweight. I didn't run anywhere. But I used to run home from school just to be with them, talk to them. I would imagine that they'd transform into the real Ninja Turtles and we'd save the day, and they were always kept on a little plastic tank on a wooden stool in my kitchen. And one day, rough day at school, from being teased and picked on, and I came home, I was so excited to see these little guys, and I walked into my kitchen, and the tank wasn't there, and my heart sank. And I walked outside of the kitchen, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. I saw my mom on the balcony. My heart sank. And I went outside, and I went to my mom, and I saw her throwing my turtles off the balcony. And in her non-sober, inebriated state, she said to me that she was setting them free. And it was that moment that my heart shattered into a million pieces and burst into flames. I was finished. They were my best friends, my everything. I didn't really have parents. They weren't there very much, and I didn't have friends at school. I was alone.
I grew up with a very attractive Korean mother who was slim and gorgeous and, you know, perfect. And I grew up as the fat kid in class. And I was teased and I was picked on. And when I was 13, I was like, okay, I'm going to do something about this. I don't know what to do. So, you know, I'm just going to stop eating.
Desperate to lose weight, Mia began starving herself.
That's where I developed anorexia when I was 13, and I lost about 1/3 of my body weight very quickly. The second that I dropped all this weight, I got scouted as a model. I saw how my life changed so drastically when all that really changed was a number on a scale. So that photo of me, the feedback that I got was that I'd never looked better, and I had a little bit more to lose. I was a couple pounds off. And I truly believed it, and since I was 13, this is my whole world. I was so delusional about what was normal. I never ate meals. Until I was 27 years old, I never ate meals. It was anything that would help me remain as thin as possible. So black coffee, narcotics, laxatives, diuretics, anything and everything that could help me. I spent every day of my life, from whether I was a size 14 to a size 0, every single day, waking up, looking in the mirror, and hating what I saw.
I was in Milan, I was in my agency. A booker said, Mia, come over here, please. They pulled up a photo of me in a bikini. They zoomed in to my thighs. They then got all the other bookers at the table to say, look, this needs to change, right? This is not good. This is a problem. It's really scarred me. I really believed that they were just hideous. My thighs were enormous.
I booked this major campaign and I was asked to go for liquids only before the shoot, so that was about 10 days. They wanted me to look like how I was when I was 17, and I was 27, and my body was fighting it, my brain was fighting it.
This fear of gaining weight, but if I gain weight, how could I live with myself? So I have to keep starving. It completely consumes you. I got to the point where I was like, if I have to keep doing this, if I have to keep feeling guilt and self-loathing after every single time I put food to my mouth, I would rather just kill myself.
I broke down. I was a complete mess, and I'm never like that. I'm a pretty tough cookie. But I think my body and my mind, after 17 years of this industry, had just had enough. I did the 10 days, I did the campaign, and then I asked for a vacation. I went to my place in Thailand, and a 10-day vacation turned to actually almost 9 months. I stumbled across this Muay Thai gym. I drove past it a couple times before I built up the courage to go in, but I was like, what do you have to lose? I was driving past in my car, pulled over, asked if I could try. They were super welcoming and never ever made me feel inadequate or not capable.
Listen, in Thailand, they don't care if I'm a model. Fighting to them, it's their national sport. They do it 6 days a week, so I'm just another challenger.
I moved into the gym. I lived, breathed, slept, everything Muay Thai, and ended up becoming a professional fighter.
It's just you, and there's no one else. You know, and I remember that moment when my trainer, he took my Hong Kong off and he put my mouth guard in and he turned me around and sent me into the ring, and I felt like abandonment. And I realized you can't rely on anyone. You can't rely on your trainers, your cornermen, no one. It's you. You're the only one that's in that ring. I truly believe it's a fight with yourself. So forget your opponent. It's dealing with that emotion and all the things that you feel and your confidence and your insecurities. I think it was a great experience. I learned so much about myself.
It made me realize that it's not about the physical, it's about the woman that you are. And that gave me the confidence to come back to the industry, come back to New York, and to say, listen, you guys, this is me, this is who I am. For the first time in my life, I'm healthy, confident, I feel powerful, and this is the woman that we should be having in our magazines and on our billboards. This is who we should have as a role model for all the young girls out there that are looking at these images and feeling insecure about themselves. Before I started boxing, I had no respect for my body. I thought that it had to look a certain way because everybody told me that it had to look a certain way. Now that I've started boxing, I have the utmost respect for my body. Find out who you are and who you are not, but more importantly, who you want to be. When I was little, I used to look at strong role models around me, and I used to take certain things from each one of them and apply them to myself. The Spice Girls, the Powerpuff Girls, the Ninja Turtles. I always knew that I wanted to be a strong and independent woman, and so I became one. Be yourself. Be unapologetically yourself. Be unique. Create yourself. Life is not about finding yourself. It's the journey of making those decisions and creating yourself and becoming who you want to become.